Hello, this is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy YouTube channel. Part 2, outdoor garden. It's not in the courtyard. And there's a beautiful rose that you just can't imagine. I call her the queen. And she's been here a long time. The house here was built in '62. And you just see this rose. It's just so... There's orange ones, yellow ones, pink ones, red ones. And this was not planted. This is a perennial rose. You see, roses are perennials. And this is last year's Italian fennel the client gave me. That is, I mean, here I am. Here I am, see? So this plant is about 7 feet tall. So very large. It's gonna be a lot of seeds this year and be good for other people. Didn't plant any of this out. So we have lavenders about gonna go here soon. A little lavender spike right there, cute. And I have a dandelion. I just kind of dug it up and put it from another part of the yard down there. Underestimated plant right here. This is sedgegrass, Cyperus rotundus. The root is very good for liver issues and female menstrual problems. It moves liver qi stagnation. Another version of it here. I planted a lot of it. This rose here was a tiny spindly thing last year, and now it's grown about 4 or 5 feet. This tree here, I don't know what it is, but I brought it in from another property just for shade. This is the hottest part of the garden right here. It's really dry and hot. And then over here, I transplanted. Good example of just using resources that are there. There's the young baby cyperus right there. There's some young baby dandelions I dug up and planted over here. This is an old Cyperus rotundus here. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. And then I had a summer squash or a winter squash, a butternut right there. And I'm gonna, I planted him and let him do his thing. Moving along to the other part of the garden, you just get the view here of how prolific. That plant there did not exist last year. Leonotis, I guess it's an Italian, Leonoris. We're gonna move along here to what I call the permaculture second year garden. So I don't know if you can look at last year's videos or if you want to, but all this wasn't here. This nasturtium you see so dominant, that's all nasturtium, folks, and it was not even there last year. So in less than a year, it's completely creeped around, and this is my compost bed. So nothing was planted. This agrimony here was planted from a volunteer. That's agrimony right there. Right there. Here's the nasturtium again. And this is all bacopa. We have a volunteer poppy, another volunteer California poppy. There's another cattail right there. You can see the cattail sticking up right over there. And lots of volunteers. So part of my method is you plant a lot of annuals, you plant a lot of perennials, and then you have lazy man gardening, I say. This is greater celandine, which is also a poppy. And if you want to see something crazy, watch this. Look at that, folks. It bleeds orange blood. This is greater celandine, one of the most underestimated liver plants on the planet. Dissolves gallstones, dissolves liver sludge. Don't get your gallbladder removed, folks. This is not medical advice. I'm just saying my experience has shown people don't need to have their gallbladders removed unless their life's in jeopardy. And again, this is not medical advice. This is my experience. So FDA, you can go screw yourself as far as I'm concerned. All right, I'm moving on from that topic. This is a new plant. It was in the other bed over here. If you remember last year's video, they were right over there. I dug them up because they're just too big. And this one's so big, it's turned into a gigantic. So this is teasel. And then this is the figwort here. That is literally, look how tall that is. It's growing in a bed, so it's about a foot off the ground, but this thing is easily, I've never seen figwort grow so tall. So this is figwort here. All this is figwort. Tiny little patch I put in last year. Same thing over here. Tiny little patch I put in, and then look at the figwort, scrophularia. The native bees love it. The yellow jackets like it. The wasps like it. Pretty much any nectar-loving bee or insect loves this plant. Oh my God, it's a native to California. Comfrey from last year was half this size. It's gigantic. Volunteer potato here, just let it do its thing. Volunteer calendula. I dug that wild lettuce up there. It's wild lettuce. Or excuse me, not wild lettuce, miner's lettuce. The castor I pruned back last year's growth here, and then we have new growth of the castor bean tree. I'm going to keep it much smaller this year. It kind of went crazy. Another view of the teasel. This is the garden bed where I had a lot of poppies growing last year, so I didn't plant any of this, folks. All of these poppies here volunteered. This wild carrot here, the dandelion there, this agrimony here, it volunteered, so I dug it up, brought it over. There's so many interesting things I can talk about here, but you see what you can do. The calendula is probably, this is the pride and joy. This whole bed here, this is about 10 feet long. There was one tiny little 6-pack of calendula, and my neighbor was asking me if I planted all this year, and I said, nope. He says, I just water it and natural spring rains, and then you've got this beautiful calendula, which I'll have the rest of my life here in this garden. Comfrey. See how I grow a lot of Comfrey gardeners? Produces a lot of mulch. It's a great gardener plant, and it also helps regenerate broken tissue. It's a cell proliferant. Do not underestimate the power of Comfrey, folks. Do not believe the FDA. They are lying to you. It is not liver toxic. It does not cause liver cancer. It cures bone cancer, according to the herbalists that I work with. So don't listen to their bullshit. The government is not here to help you, folks, and I hope that everybody understands that. Here's a hops plant that was given to me. Hops. So it's apparently going to grow like way up over here and then way over here. So I'm going to make a trellis that's going to go all the way down. And thank you, Brian Lawfer, for giving me a piece of your hops plant. I can't believe how healthy it is, even after just kind of regressively taking it out of the ground. It's just so impressive. So that's hops. This plantain here I dug up from the park, rescued it from the the weed mower. There's another baby. There's some tatsoi. There's another version of the celandine. Again, I planted just tiny bits of this. All this here, all that there is growing along the margin of the bed, and all that over there is growing along the margin of the bed. And this is all wild lettuce. See this wild lettuce here? There's a forest of it, all wild lettuce. And it was growing right over there across that fence behind that yellow plant. And there was so much seed, the wind just blew the seed over here. Another thing to watch, this wild lettuce here, look at this. See that white? It's an opiate-like latex, and it's very sedating, very good for a hot liver, angry type of person. You know, ladies, your husband's angry, having a hard day at work. This is the plant you want to make tea for him when he gets home. Tastes absolutely awful, I won't kid you. It's super bitter, but man, is it good relaxing medicine for someone who's angry and have a lot of heat in their body. This over here, this is Motherwort. Last year, I didn't know if Motherwort was a perennial or an annual, but apparently this one's coming back for another year. There's a plantain that I grew last year in a pot and dug it, put it in the ground, and what's interesting is all this here, all these seed spikes came up within the last 10 to 14 days, right after I put it in the ground. It didn't like that at all. It went right into, because when plants go to like that, it means they're bolting and they're stressed and they're trying to have sex and have babies as fast as possible. So this plant is probably either intelligently reproducing or it's just stressed out. Now there's another side of the nasturtium there. So as you can see, gardeners, lazy man gardening works. This is blue vervain here. So lazy man gardening method equals, if you just look at this forest here, from sort of a view of like 2 or 3 feet off the ground, and if you're a kid, this is the view you've got as a child. And nothing was here a few months ago. It was all wintertime deadness. And now it's just a forest of goodness. And I'm just so happy. Hope everybody has a great day and enjoy this spring garden video, May 15th, 2019, part 2. And get some little tidbits and got some plant ID and got a few little tidbits about the plants. And we'll go over some individual stuff later. Have a great day.